Gabriel is adorable, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. Renee came to our.
He's an old soul. He seems much older than he is.
He is an old soul. Yeah. He's always been more mature than a lot of kids his age. It's also, he's an only child, and so we've always talked to him like an adult.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too. But thank you. Thank you for showing up yesterday. It was really fun to collaborate with him. She's talking about the healing meditations that I did yesterday. I actually decided to create that at the beginning of the year because at the onstart of every year, I do an astrological and numerology report. And the report for 2023 was predicting that this was going to be a more chaotic, big year of change, similar to 2020, but different than 2020. And it was also saying this is the year to really get back into nature. Because we know when we get back to nature, there's just something that comes over us and calms us and connects us to something bigger and larger than what we are, whether you want to call it God or whether you want it to call it divine intelligence, higher consciousness, or just Mother Nature. There's something beautiful about being outdoors and feeling that connectivity. But this is also a year where we're supposed to really be watchful of our mental health. Because of so much chaos and so much change occurring, if we're not paying attention to our mental health, then that could wreak havoc on our physical bodies. Because what we don't process or deal with mentally shows up physically. But it can also, upset our emotional body as well as our spiritual health as well. So the reason why I'm a little tearful this morning, it has to do with last week. We were here, we were practicing, I was teaching. My phone is not going to be on airplane mode anymore. I usually put my phone on airplane mode when I'm teaching, and I just focus strictly on teaching, and I'll let everything else go. Because I've always got the attitude it can wait, but I want my son to be able to contact me if he needs to. I want to know what's happening. I'm not a fearful person. I don't normally get impacted with things that are happening in the world at a deep level, but it's hitting home more and more as the days go by. So we all know what happened last week in Nashville, that shooting that happened at the school. And Gabriel was with his dad last week. So luckily he had a couple concerts, so I got to see him and hug him and, know that he was fine, But I discovered last night when I was doing the second healing meditations, his girlfriend came to the circle and we opened up our meditations, just passing our amethyst crystal around and just sharing if there was anything weighing on our hearts or minds that were needing to be healed, that were something that we wanted to transmute or just say it out loud, because sometimes it helps just to get it out. And I was telling everyone last night, I'm not a fearful person, but, I've had little moments, little glimpses. It's not all day. It's not for an hour at a time. It's just little bitty glimpses where it's seeping into my psyche, right? So last week I was walking the neighborhood like I always do. Someone dropped something in the garage. It was a loud sound that reverberated through the neighborhood, and I jumped and my heart started pounding. And I'm looking around to make sure we're safe. I took my son to a concert, and we go to concerts all the time, and we have a blast. But I was also responsible for a friend that I took, and there was just one moment. It was just one brief moment, but it was still a moment that I can't ignore, where I looked around and I was panicked, thinking, who's behind us? We're all clustered together. Are we safe? And I had to go into my yoga breathing, and I had to tell myself, I am safe, you're safe, and go through those things. Well, last night, his girlfriend came to the meditation, and when we were passing it around, everybody had something major going on at my second one last night, and I love that everybody was able to share. And when it got to her, she shared that the shooter had actually been at my son's high school that morning before she went to the elementary school. And so that's new information for me. And She shared last night, my mouth dropped, but I had to continue teaching. And I tried to talk to Rob about it last night. Bless his heart, like he was so tired he fell asleep. And then so this morning I got up and I started getting myself together. And then when I dropped him off at school, I just started bawling. So I'm gonna try to hold it together. Because what I'm telling myself right now, no one should be telling themselves. It never happens at the same school. The shooter is gone. It'll show up in the next town. That's terrible. That's absolutely horrible psychology, yet it's what's happening in our world. It's what's happening in our schools. It's what's happening in our nation. This is not happening all over the world. This is happening in the United States of America. And it's anyway, I know yoga's gonna help me feel better. That's why I'm here. And I hope it's why you're here. Let's breathe, let's move, let's meditate, and let's feel better. So let's stand. We're gonna get right into it. And I have to say, Harriet is back. I don't know if you know Harriet. She's always been a staple at Hackton Yoga, from the original studio to the second studio, and she's back. And we're happy to have you.
See how long I staying.
Just do what you can. All right. Oh, our theme for today is about community. I didn't even get to our theme. Community. Community is so important, and within the word is unity. We need each other. Community is when we come together and we share common interests. Our common interest here is yoga and meditation and healing. So that's what we're here to do. So let's step to the top of the mat. Let's really root and ground the feet. Let's line up the legs, stack them, engage them, and bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. Allow your thumbs to rest at the top of the sternum. Close your eyes. This is actually an acupressure point, or as yogis call a marma point, for the heart chakra. Once you close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. Know that the breath can help to form that state of union between our mind, body, and spirit. Let's lace the fingers together, even your thumbs, and you're going to tuck the knuckles right up underneath your chin. All right, as we breathe in, I want you to try to take it to like 6 counts. You don't necessarily have to count, but about 6 counts on your in-breath and out-breath. So it looks like this. You're slowly opening your elbows and you're fanning the heels of the hands apart. And then on the out breath, you squeeze the palms together, bring the arms closer together, and then start to bow your head back to where you started. All right, inhale, slow movement, about 6 counts with this opening. And then exhale with the hands returning, arms folding, and chin descending. Good, continue that. Deep, slow inhale. And a deep, slow exhale. I'll get some music going. One more. Good, now inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Lace your hands together to what we call temple or Jupiter mudra. Burn the shoulders up towards your ears, elongate through your side body. And then as you exhale, you're gonna sweep over to the right. Now when you curve to the right side, notice that grand opening you're receiving to the left. Breathe into that left lung more specifically And then make sure that the channel of the breath is open and free. If it feels restrained whatsoever, know that you're going too far, and then back up a little. Inhale, let's come back up. Exhale, let's take it over to the left. Breathe with depth. Feel free to activate that Ujjayi breath, because we're going to go into our sun cells next. Inhale, let's lift up. And then exhale, bring your hands to the salutation seal. Hands to prayer. All right, inhale, let's circle the arms overhead, look straight ahead. And as you exhale, begin to fold into your Uttanasana. From your Uttanasana, tip your weight forward slightly towards your toes. And then inhale, sprout up. You're welcome to slide your hands up the legs if it's too much to keep the hands to the floor. And then exhale, roll down. Inhale, we're stepping back to plank. We're rocking forward and lowering down to chaturanga. Feel free to lower the knees. Inhale, lift to upward facing dog. And then exhale, roll it back to downward facing dog. As you're here, press down through your palms. Stretch up and out through your arms. Up and out through your sits bones. On your next in-breath, you can walk the feet forward or take a giant step forward, coming into Ardha Uttanasana at the top of the mat. And then as you exhale, gently lower back down. Inhale, coming up to the top. And then exhale, hands to prayer position at the heart. All right, we're just gonna do 2 more simple ones to help warm up. Inhale, extend your arms. Exhale, fold your way down into your Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen out through the vertebrae. And then exhale, let's drop back down. Inhale, let's take plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, open up the heart and throat. And exhale, use your core to roll back over your toes. Lining up with better precision. But then most importantly, realigning to your breath. The breath is so medicinal for the mind. The breath can calm and neutralize our emotions. And the breath can help us to become more aware and tapped into the body. On your next in-breath, you can meditationally walk or take that giant step. Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, release. Inhale up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're gonna do one more simple A. Inhale. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Inhale, lift and lengthen out, creating some space. And then exhale, close that gap. Inhale, let's take plank. Building some bone strength as we support our body weight. And then exhale, lower down to chaturanga, hover if you can. Inhale, bloom up. Exhale, rock and roll back. And gazing back towards the feet. Your head between the arms. So anytime we're in downward facing dog, make sure this is the time where you reclaim your breath.
calmness can begin to radiate throughout your mind and body. Next in breath, let's travel the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to arrive is fine. Exhale, lower down. Inhale all the way up. Keep rooting your feet as you rise, lifting up through the fingertips, and exhale, bringing your hands back to Namaste at the heart. All right, inhale, we're taking Utkatasana chair. From chair pose, sit back with your thigh bones, roll the pinkies in towards the temples, feel that spread through the upper back, and then exhale, pour down over your legs. Inhale, lift and lean. Exhale, we're going straight to Chaturanga, meaning you can clasp your plank or you can just bounce back into that pose. We'll flow through the Vinyasa. And then inhale, lift your right leg halfway up. Maybe that will help to swing that right foot through between your hands. Turn and plant your back foot. Come right on up, warrior one. So in Virabhadrasana 1, have your front thigh rolling open, your back thigh rolling towards the front, unless that's disruptive for your low back. If that hurts your low back whatsoever, you can be a little bit more neutral with that activity. Keep flying up through your hands. And then exhale. Lower the palms, step it back. Feel free to take the Vinyasa or hold down dog. When we return to downward facing dog, we're going to lift the left foot halfway up. We'll swing that foot through, plant the back foot down, and come on up, warrior one. Ensuring that that front knee is aligned over the ankle, chin perpendicular to the floor. Gaze straight ahead with your eyes. Exhale, hands down. And step it back. Lower down, build that upper body strength. Inhale, open the front body. Exhale, return to downward facing dog. Maximize your breath. Inhale, feet to the top. Open up. Exhale, close it back in. Inhale, Utkatasana, your chair. Exhale, hands up. All right, we're doing okay? Inhale, chair. I'm just thinking, why did I wear long sleeves? Exhale, fold. Inhale, pop up. Exhale, we're going to Chaturanga. So again, you can bounce back or you can step back and then flow. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Exhale, step it forward and through. Plant your back foot. Inhale, rise, warrior one. From Virabhadrasana 1, keep your chin parallel to the mat. Find something to focus on with your eyes. Bury that back foot firmly into your mat. And release your hands. Continue to flow. And then once you return, the left leg's gonna lift halfway. It's gonna swing through. Back foot's gonna settle down. And you rise to warrior one. tuning to the wheel of higher power. Exhale, release. Take this last Vinyasa for this sun's out. Holding down dog when you're right. And immersing yourself with breath, with that prana, with that divine life force energy. Inhale, feet come to the top of the mat. Lengthen out to the spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, I've got one more of those planned. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Remember the indwelling place of the sun is in the core. Inhale, create some space for that sun. Exhale, take it back and lower down, chaturanga. You're still using your core as you open and spread the abdominals, and then use the abdominals to roll back over your toes. Right leg lifts. Squeeze in the belly as you step the foot through. Plant your back foot. Inhale, warrior one. Now just feel the feet planted on the earth. So when we do get emotional, it can kind of put us more in our head. And so that's when we really need to ground back into our body. See, this is what's gonna happen. Sorry guys, but I have to do it. Exhale, fold. Step it back. Lower down. I haven't even told you how to amp it up, because I don't feel like amping it up myself. But you can always do the flying planks and chaturangas if you want to amp it up. Left leg lift. Swing it through. Lower down. And build it up. And just really focus on your feet being firmly planted on the ground. Exhale, fold. One more Vinyasa, and then we're going to move on. Drink up the breath. Inhale, feet come to the top. Exhale, let go. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, we're gonna step the feet apart. We're gonna bring the hands to the waist, roll the shoulders back and look up. As we exhale, we're gonna hinge down. We're gonna lace the first two fingers around each big toe. We're gonna fan the elbows away from the shins and bow over and down, over and down, over and down. And tuck the chin toward your chest. So it's actually the crown of your head facing the floor. And then use your thumbs to push into the big toenails. Activating an acupressure point for the pituitary gland, one of two major glands located in the head. Inhale, straighten your arms, and then give some space behind your heart. And as you exhale, remove the mudra from the toes, flip your hands up underneath your feet, let the toes come to your wrist, and shift your hips slightly forward another inch, and tuck the chin in. Padahastasana. And affirm mentally, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. Release your hands. Stack them to your waist and slowly come up. Now, for those people on this side of the room, you're welcome to turn to face the center. And again, you guys can face the center so that you're all kind of facing me and you won't get all confused. So when you separate your feet, you want at least 3 feet in between them. So you can be the judge of that, and then open out your right foot. Will not mirror each other. Fan your arms out over your legs. Push back into your hips. We're taking triangle pose. Now, if this is a pose where you prefer a block, you could grab the block and place it underneath your right hand. You can stack it onto your shin. Or to challenge yourself, you can have the hand in front of the shin facing out. That's going to make you have to grip your feet more. It's going to have to maintain your core engagement more. And then fan out the fingers on your top hand and kind of stretch up and out through that left arm. That's where the ascension of energy is being directed. And then inhale, draw up. Exhale, relax your arms, turn your right foot in, left foot out. Lift your arms again. Push back into your hips, lean out over the left leg, and then find your way into triangle pose. So notice if you just dump into that lower arm, that's where the energy's heading. But the energy is meant to go up to the pinnacle, up towards the heavens. So spread out that hand and lift a little higher through those fingertips. And that will actually also help to bring alignment into your torso. It'll help to open up your heart. And then gently use that top arm to come back up. Exhale, relax your arms down. All right, left foot's gonna turn in. Right foot's gonna turn out. But we need to offset the left foot, turn the toes more at an angle. Stack your hands to your hips at first and square them up. All right, your left arm is gonna shine overhead. We're going into revolving triangle at this point. So when you start to fold over that right leg, you're actually spinning the left rib cage that direction, dropping the hand to a block, to the leg, to the floor, and maybe freeing up the right hand and soaring it up. Again, if you need a block to set the left hand on, you can grab one. And then you're squeezing the right hip in, so it's targeting that IT band. And that usually triggers what's galling us, what's making us feel irritable. So notice if there's sensitivity there. Exhale, let's lower the right hand and slowly, cautiously come up. But that's a big pose. All right, turn your feet square again. And notice how your left foot's probably ahead of your right, because we stepped it through. So back it up, rotate your left foot, offset your right foot, and square your hips. Good. So revolving triangle, lift your right arm up. Exhale, start to rotate towards the left leg as you lower the right hand down. Determining today, do you want to rest it on the body? Do you prefer a block? Or can you just rest it maybe on the floor through the fingertips? Now, if you are resting on the fingertips, are you white knuckling that hand? If you are, consider what we were doing in regular triangle and extending a little higher through that top arm, since that's where the energy is still being directed. We're churning through the belly and chest. Exhale, lower the left hand down and cautiously come up. All right, we're turning the feet square, but again, remember one foot rocked up a little more. So step it back, create that imaginary line for precision. Hands to the hips, shoulders roll back. And the idea here, when we roll the shoulders back, we want the ruching in the shirt, the squeeze of the shoulder blades coming towards the spine, And we want to maintain that as we start to fold. Lean your heart forward as you fold down so that you're not apt to push your sits bones back too far. And then notice when you start to lower your head and your heart, are the elbows starting to flop? Can you keep the elbows lifting? Shoulders rolled. Breath blowing. The B version of Prasarita Padottanasana. All right, inhale, pressurize your feet, slowly come up. When you come up, you're gonna lace your hands together behind your back. Let your shoulders give an extra roll back and let your knuckles spill down towards the floor behind you. Now, I'm gonna stay here today because I just think this feels really good. But go ahead and fold if you want to work into the back of your legs as well. Sometimes it's nice just to isolate one area. So it's okay to be working into your hamstrings, but breathe into your heart as well. Good. When you're ready, if you're folding, again, pressurize your feet, lengthen through the spine, lead with your knuckles to the back of your heart to come up to stand, and then exhale, bring hands to prayer position at your heart. Good. Now rotate your right foot 90 degrees. All right, keep yourself centered here, and then lunge into the right knee. Glance at your right thigh. And if it looks more like a ski slope, you may want to heel to the right foot a little farther out so that you can drop that thigh bone lower. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and rest the forearm. Take that left arm skyward or cross it over next to your ear. Holding your side ankle pose. And what we were doing in triangle earlier is also something you can do here. You can shine the fingertips down towards the ankle, and that arm can slightly kind of shove into the knee, not shoving in an aggressive way, but in a gentle way to open up that hip. Good, inhale it, slowly come up. Relax your arms, right foot turns. Left foot's gonna rotate to the other short edge of the mat. And then neutralize your torso, hands to prayer position. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lunge that left knee. And then check the status of that leg. Is it possible to do more? Maybe your feet need to spread out more. Maybe the top of that left femur bone can sink more. Breathe. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lean into it. Right arm carries up or over the ear. Or the left fingertips can shine down towards the inner ankle. Breathe. Affirming, I am a fountain of boundless energy and strength. The core of the body can tap us back into that. All right, inhale, let's come up. Exhale, relax your arms, turn your left foot, rotate your right foot. Go ahead and bring your hands down to frame the right foot and elevate your left heel off the mat. All right, from here, bring your hands up to your heart, hover your torso over that right thigh. And then if you can twist, crank that left elbow to the opposite side of the right knee. Take the navel up over the thigh, dial the heart towards your thumbs. Keep your right elbow shining up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Unwind from the twist. Bring the hands around and around and around and around. So your left foot's in the lead. You're coming back into that runner's type lunge. And then float your hands up, hover over the front thigh and just set up here. And if you need to stay here, perfectly fine. Otherwise, crank the right elbow to the opposite side of that left knee. Continue to turn and spin through the belly, through your chest, and reform that relationship with your breath. Exhale, unwind. Step the back foot forward. Come all the way up to stand. And if you're facing the back of the room, you're just gonna turn around. Okay. Now, for those of you on the front row, it really plays with my head when I'm trying to balance when I'm this close to the wall. I'm not sure how it is for you because you're a little bit more behind me. But if this wall throws you off, the dark wall might be better, or the windows might be better, okay? So just be aware of that. And now we're gonna balance. Now, what I failed to tell you was, you may need a strap for this. And here's why. Forgot about this piece. So we got to. Let me show you, and you may judge from there whether or not you need a strap. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold. We're gonna lace the fingers around the big toe, and we're gonna try to bring it with us. So if you already know, that feels weird to my big toe, or my hamstrings aren't there yet, that's okay. You can stand on the strap, fold, and hold the edges of the strap as close to the foot as you can. And then you'll bring it up this way. Okay, so that's where we're headed next. So determine if you need that strap or not. All right, you ready? What's that?
Is it same side hand or?
Same side hand, yes, thank you for asking. Okay, when you're ready. Zip up through your midriff. Hands to the hips, or stand on the strap and hold it. And when you start to fold, you're gonna move your hand so it's close to the foot, and you're holding that strap really tight, okay? Otherwise, peace mudra around the big toe. Now go ahead and position your weight in the left leg and foot. This way, when you start to come up, you can bring the right leg with.
All right. Okay, strap in.
Not easy. All right, bend the knee. You can have one hand holding the heel, one hand holding the knee, and lifting it up like this, standing pigeon. Or you can take both hands underneath the foot to bring it towards a half lotus, descending the right knee, hand in half namaste, or looping behind your back. If you need regular tree, take regular tree, or that standing pigeon. I know, balance can be frustrating. So bring some compassion and patience to yourself, because we're going to the other side. So now, if you want that strap, lace it underneath the sole of your left foot. Otherwise, hands to the hips. Zip up through your midriff. Hinge and fold. Walk your hands down the strap if you're going to use that. Or lace the mudra around the big toe. All right, concentrate here first. Picture yourself moving into Padangusthasana A. And then go ahead and shift your weight to the right leg. And bring the left foot with. One side's always more challenging. When you're ready to bend the knee. Catch the heel. Hold the knee for a standing pigeon. You have the option to remain here. You have the option to go to regular tree or scoop underneath the foot with both hands. Drop it into the half lotus, half namaste, or arm behind the back. Release when you're ready. Walk it out, shake out your feet. That was not easy. All right. Let's move on. Let's bring the hands to prayer. Inhale, open up. Let's gaze up, upward worship. I'm grateful for this beautiful weather we've had. And then exhale, slide it down past your heart. Continue on to a forward fold. Inhale, we're stepping back downward facing dog. Now, if you just feel like, you know what, I really want a vinyasa, then you can take it. Otherwise, just be here. We'll wait for the others to get through the vinyasa. We're going to move it on down to the floor. So you can either come down to your knees or table and then sit down, or you can bend the knees, look forward towards your hands, crisscross the ankles as you hop through, and then straighten out your legs. So, you know, when you do the jump throughs, you really want the type of mat where you can slide in. And a lot of the newer, more modern mats do not give you the ability to slide. So be aware if you buy one of the new mats, they're not made for that, okay? I've discovered that the hard way. All right, flex your feet and push down through your thigh bones. Draw up through your navel, and then reach up through your arms. Keep flexing your ankles and spread out through your toes. And then as you exhale, come to Paschimottanasana. Now, in the earlier days, we would look out towards the feet. And if you consider how often we're looking down at our phones, at our computers, at what we're writing and such, it may be a benefit to go back into that traditional gaze of looking out, unless you already know from a chiropractor that this is not a good movement for your neck. Always listen to those type of professionals, and then remember what they say to you when you come back to practice your yoga. Because they have more information than I do. Inhale it, slowly come up. Let's bring the arms with, and then we're gonna fan the arms away and lean onto our palms behind our back, okay? Now, bend your knees. And we're gonna press into the feet, tuck the tailbone and lift up. Draw the shoulders wider. So your hips are rising, your collarbones are rising. Reverse table or altar. One more deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly sit back down. And you're going to straighten out your left leg. Your right knee's going to stay bent. And your right arm's going to reach to the inside of it. Okay, now your thumb's going to turn down, out, and up as you're twisting the arm and wrapping it in front of that knee or shin. And then your left arm's going to stretch you forward and out. And then that thumb turns down, and you're going to swim that hand around behind your back. Now your strap is there if you want the hands to meet that way. or they may be able to bind. And instead of just dropping the head, reach the heart out towards the front foot. And then inhale, come up. Slip your right foot on over. And we're gonna take the strap. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. The strap's gonna go around the foot and off to your left side waist. If you don't have a strap, all you're gonna do is circle the right arm behind your back and let the hand rest somewhere at your waist or low back. And then if you have a strap, you can hold the strap. Lift the left arm up. Take a full deep breath here. And then exhale, let's release. Now I like spilling the head down here when the arm's bound behind the back, because if you slightly lower the head and lean it towards the left arm, it's a great stretch for the neck. And that may be a place where you tend to hold tension. And if it's not, feel free to look forward and out. Slow, deep, mindful breaths. All right, inhale. Let's bring that left arm overhead. Exhale, this hand's gonna lower down to the bent knee. The back arm is gonna release and rise. And then stay in that twist, and you're gonna lean out over the straight leg. Harriet, I swear you're such an inspiration. Y'all, Harriet is 80 years old. Yay! Isn't that amazing? And she's done yoga for years. How long have you done yoga?
Since '04.
Since '04.
Somebody else do the math.
I love it. And then inhale, come up. So almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Lower the right hand behind you. Gaze over the back shoulder. And breathe. Good. Exhale, unwind. And lift your right hand. Slide that leg long. And bend your left. Do that same sequence here. So when you lift that left arm, you want it to go to the inside of the knee, and then we'll turn, twist the arm, wrap it in front of that left shin, and then shine the heart forward. Let your right arm help to lengthen your back, and then exhale, spin that hand behind you. Determine whether or not you want the strap or not. And notice how the foot may want to roll in or out. Station it down on the center of your heel. So the kneecap is facing the ceiling and the toes are lifted towards the ceiling. This is a variation of one of the sage poses. I tend to do this more in the Ashtanga practice, more so than blissful, but thought we'd add it in today. All right, inhale, slowly lift up. Go ahead and use that left hand to bring that foot on over. And if you want to use that strap, wrap it around the foot. Bring it here to your waist. Left arm behind your back. Whether you have the strap or not. And then the right arm ascends. Take a full deep breath here. Because again, sometimes this is better for our back than folding. There are little seasons and times in our life where we have to modify poses. Exhale, hinge if you can. Maybe gazing out towards the foot or bowing your head and leaning it slightly towards the right arm to see what you gain in your left shoulder and in that side strip of your neck. Inhale, let's slowly bring it back up. Exhale, this hand's gonna cross over as you twist to the left. The left arm will release and rise. And then you're gonna curve over the straight legs. A version of Pavrita Janushasana. Some of you might be able to even tap the toes or roll the head up underneath the arm to gaze up, but not necessary. Inhale, slowly coming back up. And then exhale, unwind. Okay, let's get rid of that strap. If your hair is tied up at the nape of your neck, then you're gonna want to release that out. And find your blocks. Block is gonna be beside you. And it's okay if you don't have blocks, you can just use your muscular strength. Your second block is gonna be in between your knees. Down to the back, towards Uttanasana. Now, I want you to notice, sometimes we can have pretty flexible knees. And if that's the case, we tend to walk the feet in too close to the buttocks. So, sometimes it's nice just to lift up and make sure that your heels aren't coming back too much. Because even if it doesn't affect your knees, it can scrunch your low back too much and impinge a nerve or a disc or something. So we're trying to open up space in that area. So bring your arms beside you, palms facing downward. Push down through the mount of the big toes and your heels, tuck the tailbone, lift up. Now make sure, because it is possible to use your feet and hamstrings and to forget about your glutes. But I want you to squeeze the glutes. And as you're squeezing the glutes, I want you to tuck one shoulder at a time underneath your body. Maybe lace your hands up and push down through the pinky fingers. And so you're sending that block through the knees forward towards the front of the room, and you're dropping your weight down through the outer arms and shoulders to puff your chest a little higher towards your chin. Breathe down into your belly. Let it swell on the inhale, and drop on the exhale. As you exhale, release your hands apart, slide your shoulders broad, roll down one vertebra at a time. All right, you're gonna barely hover your feet. Just barely hover your feet. Spreading your arms out like a T or in the goddess arms. And roll the knees a few inches to the left. Maybe about a quarter of the way. Roll back to center. And allow them to roll a quarter of the way off to the right. All right, just massaging the buttocks here. Come through center, take it to the left, halfway down towards the floor. Bring it through center. Send the block halfway towards the floor to the right. Good, let's do it again to the left, where we barely hover the knees. And bring it back through to barely hover the knees to the right. And then rock back to center. All right, lower the feet to the floor. Take your second block. Maintaining the first one in the knees. Push down through the soles of the feet, tuck and lift again. But take the one in your hands and slide it under your sacrum. So today, we're gonna stay half active, half passive. So we're half passive by using the prop under the back, but we're holding the other block between the knees. So we're not having to necessarily squeeze the hamstrings or buttocks anymore, but we are maintaining the structure where the knees stay parallel. Close your eyes and breathe. And mentally affirm, I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. So now keep holding the block between the knees and lift your feet off the floor. Take the feet up in the air. They're not gonna be together. There's the block there. Take your hand up, remove the block. Now pull the feet together. Waterfall. Pump your heels up. And then pump your toes up. Heels up. Toes up. One more, heels up. And toes up. And release your feet. Now, push down through the soles of the feet. Lift away from the block, remove the block away. And you can either be here, Assettu Bandhasana without blocks, or if you feel like going deeper today, which I don't, but if you do, you're gonna flip your hands over your shoulders, push into your palms, and lift up to wheel. That Urdhva Dhanurasana is another name for it, upward bow. If you come up, hold it like 3 breaths if you can, 3 to 5. And when you're ready to come down, you're slightly tucking the chin to the chest. And now you're coming back to bridge. And then everyone's gonna flow down 1 vertebra at a time, nice and slow, slow and steady. And then catch your knees. Hold here. Let your back lengthen out, let it flatten down. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to affirm mentally within. I recall any scattered or shattered pieces and call them back home to me now. I call any shattered or scattered pieces back home to me now. And now I'm hearing Led Zeppelin in my head. Bring it back home to my baby.
All right, let's go ahead and prepare for Shavasana. I am taking you right to 10:30. I just realized. So I still want you to get at least 5 minutes. So set up for your Shavasana. Create any position of your life. And what I want you to meditate on today, when you close your eyes and gaze into your mind's eye, I want you to picture a perfect circle or a ring of light. That ring of light or that perfect circle is going to represent this idea of unity. This idea of wholeness. And that feeling of community. Where we are united
as one. Where we experience oneness, mind, and a state of unity consciousness. Start taking deeper sips of breath. Ready. Bringing gentle movement to the body. Creating a slow exit for the pose that you chose. Eventually turning to one side. Coming up to take a seat. Joining your hands to prayer. Let's sing the Om Shanti Shanti. If you want to join me, you may. Take a deep breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
440-7852.
We all walk away from this practice being free and at peace from anything out of our control, anything imposed upon us by another, or any internal stressors of our own. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.